So what are people finding are their most effective outreaches for their companies?
I'll take a stab at it. As far as us, Inez, what you've gotten a taste of it is our celebrity brand and trust-based marketing. We produce a quarterly magazine publication that goes out to 500 business owners. So that's been a real hit for us. But it also makes clients super sticky, a lot easier to close the deals on, after sitting our first-time appointments or FTAs. So we've done a lot of that, and I say the outreach for that is doing the social campaigns based on a trust-based marketing. That combined has really done good, where we get a lot of attention, we get a lot of comments, and that's kind of what we're after. We're just chasing the comments, and then our digital marketing to follow up on that. If we see somebody bounce on one of our landing pages, it goes immediately into our CRM. And typically what happens is, as soon as we see somebody bounce onto our website, we'll give them a call, or we'll send an email. We're monitoring our CRM. So we see in real time if they open up our email without even clicking on it. We can see if they open it, and then we'll immediately call them. Oftentimes they're impressed, that just going, wow, how did you know I was even looking at your email? And how in the world did you call that fast? And our first response is, well, if you think that's fast, you ought to see how fast we respond to service calls. And so that just it flips the script, and we can go not right into the sale, but into a good discovery call where we're learning more about the business, and it kind of breaks the ice. Yeah.
That's great. That sounds like a much more effective way than a cold email.
Oh yeah. Cold emails it's tough. It's tough out there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't introduce myself, but I'm a fractional CFO, or I call myself a trusted accounting advisor. And so, people don't really like to share their personal financial or their business financial with just anybody. And so, and I recommend they don't do that. but that, so that's why for me, cold email doesn't really seem to work really well. But when I'm in Alignable and I have an opportunity to meet different people and have one-to-ones, and then like Tommy, I've started my own e-newsletter, and that's really been weekly, and that's been super helpful in meeting people and finding out more about them. And I have Tommy actually was one of our spotlight writers, and he did a great presentation and on keeping your website ADA compliant. And if you don't, you could be sued. So go to my website and see Tommy's blog there, because the actual newsletter that has the spotlight writer on it, it's also then placed on my website in the blog section. So, and we'll sit there for eternity. I do recommend, and I'm seeing this now, unfortunately I didn't do this for Tommy because I didn't realize it until later, that what's nice is if you can add to whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying, a little video of yourself that's like 1 to 2 minutes. Like I made a whole series of videos just to introduce the pages on my website so that people can see, this is what I'm doing on this page. This is what I'm doing on this page. Because I have some educational content, but then I also have where I'm actually somebody's trusted advisor. And so that allows them to actually see me, hear me, much like you're doing here, and already have sort of a connection. So that when they do reach out to me, they kind of already feel like they almost know me. What would you think about that, Jeremy? Yeah? Do you think? Yeah. How does everybody feel about that? It's uncomfortable putting yourself out there, but sometimes you have to do that.
That's what our next phase is, trying to get into some video stuff.
Yeah.
I know Jeremy should be applauding our efforts there.
I just started implementing that. So I created Spilling the Tea on Trust and Wills Thursdays.
Oh, great.
So on Thursdays, I release like 2-minute, 3-minute little videos on what people need to know about wills and trust. So they're actually going to be the FAQs on the website. We're going to put it there for that as well.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's great to be able to do that. Like you said, to put in your FAQs, then it just sort of builds it for you, organically. That's great. I know we're putting stuff out on my YouTube channel too. So that's another place that you can put stuff out because, you know, a lot of people look on YouTube, they research stuff, like they go to the internet. That was one of the questions, like, you know, how often do you go out to the internet? You know, I mean, I think everybody instantly goes out to the internet with any kind of question. But I like to see the YouTube videos because, again, I see somebody, I hear somebody, I'm very visual, and I can see what they're talking about, especially if it's a, you know, a guide or something. Does anybody else have any thoughts? What's been helpful for them? Like Lynn, how do you do that with your product launches? How do you?
A lot of it is word of mouth, but I have used videos in emails. I have to be a bit careful because, like you, our industry is very, very compliance led. And they're taught, a lot of my clients are taught not to open links. So I actually put a poll out on LinkedIn in specific groups, and they actually came back and said they would open a Calendly link, but they don't always open other links. But I have used Vidyard where it puts a little thumbnail in the email and then links through to the actual video. And so they get to see that it's actually a video. Sometimes they'll open it, sometimes they won't. But with Vidyard, you can tell who's opened it.
Oh, great. Okay.
That is
Jeremy,
interesting.
yeah, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that? Oh, you're muted.
I'm sorry, I was having some audio,
No problem.
some speaker issues there, so I didn't catch the comment.
Oh, okay. So she was talking about, you know, in her launches, that part of that is to send people emails, and that in their industry that they've been taught that you shouldn't open a link, but that they've also learned that if it's a Calendly appointment, then they are comfortable doing that. But a regular link, that they shouldn't open that.
We're seeing a lot of that too, and we also train our customers not to do that. And so there's a lot of things that you shouldn't put in your email, especially in the subject line. We try to avoid links whenever possible. I still from time to time will put my calendar link in my signature. One of the things about having a powerful CRM is they don't need to click a link for you to see them. So even if they scroll down the email, you can actually see that they're reading your email and how long they stayed on your email, and then you can follow up from there. So it just, and we use Infusionsoft, or formerly Infusionsoft, which is Keep now. Not the most user friendly, but certainly powerful if you have somebody to configure it. Jeremy, I would love to know what you're using for a CRM. You said that y'all have one. What are you guys?
We do,
using?
yeah. It's called Digital Pro Suite, and it was built on top of a platform called Go High Level.
Okay.
And it gives you email functionality, SMS functionality, and also integrates your social media platform, which is a great, as well as Google, your Google listing to help with reputation management. So there's a lot of functionality within the CRM that really helps with follow up. And to your point, I think you made a great point, Tommy. A great CRM is going to do a good job of allowing you to see engagements have happened with your emails, so that you can follow up at the correct time.
And we're not Infusionsoft, or if anybody has any more interest in CRM, we can dig into it. But Infusionsoft's not the most high tech as far as more advanced. Like, we can do reputational management, so we can manage a reputation, bounced emails. We can look at a reputation score. But when it comes to SMS, that's when we have to do something like a call rail or turbo dial and add that to it, to SMS texting, which we don't have that capability right now. And it certainly is not doing too well for our social, but it's great for our, we have 70 campaigns loaded up to it. Any given time, we can do a birthday campaign, Valentine's Day campaign, or referral campaign. And we've spent so much time and energy investing into the CRM that it's hard for us to break away. But yeah, I'm always interested to break away.
Yeah, I also use a version of Go High Level. Jeremy and I have talked about that before, and it's called Be Savvy. And yeah, you do too? Yeah. And so it's a great product. I mean, Go High Level is, it's a white label, I guess, right? You would call it, of Go High Level. And so they've built on top of it. So it's what powers it. But then they've, for Jeremy, they've made their own. They've made it their own. adding more robust stuff. And I have a course that I teach for bookkeepers to learn how to do advisory services. And they have under memberships, they have a section where you can build your own course. And it's real easy to do. It's real quick. You can add videos and audio and upload files and all sorts of stuff. So it's a great tool. We probably use about 85% of it. Okay. I just don't use the cold email function, as I mentioned before. But I use it for my newsletter. It does my newsletter for me. It has all these workflows and stuff you can do. I think Lynn said that she finds Go High Level difficult. And yes, I think the regular version of Go High Level is. And so these other white labeled ones have actually made it much more user friendly. So I think what Jeremy used and what I use is a much more friendly. It's the same product, but it's just much more friendly.
Ours is certainly not friendly.
No.
No, it's not friendly.
Their videos are really good. And actually their customer support has been amazing. So yeah, you can give it a try. So Lynn, you could probably maybe look at, Be Savvy or one of these others that people are using and see if that might be easier for you. So, but then I also have hired like some VAs to do some of that work for me too. So, but I still like to know how to do it. So Vanita, you joined us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I believe you're on mute. If you go, there you go. Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. I come from a business brokerage background, and I primarily focus on looking for businesses that are willing to sell. I do the valuation and do the listing services and try to find a buyer. I call myself transferable business advisors, but primary focus is on exiting the business.
Okay, great. Thanks. And so how do you get referrals or, find business?
I'm actually learning a lot from what you have shared. The way I do it is primarily cold calling. I just walk to the businesses, share my business card. And the other primary method is drop letters, where we go and drop letters at the business doors and share with them what they know. The third one is I have subscribed to seller leads on BizBuySell. Those are the three methods that I'm using. I'm new to the Be Savvy and Go High Level CRMs that you've shared with me.
Vanita, it's interesting that you mentioned canvassing. In 2022, canvassing was ranked as far as our campaigns in the IT industry. Canvassing was ranked number 8. Number 1 was direct mail. Number 2 was digital marketing. And then in 2023, canvassing took the number 2 spot. So canvassing was really hot in 2023 as far as capturing new logos, and you're keeping a clean list at the same time. You're building a list. It's accurate because you were at the place. So it helps you clean your list. And so the key to canvassing that we found too, which I'm sure you're aware of, is that instant follow-up. Before you even leave to go back home or go back to work, is we typically right there from the parking lot will send out that email and say, hey, we were just in your office. It typically blows them away that we respond that way.
I have a question on that, Tommy. A lot of times I need to find the decision maker to actually speak, but I don't find them in the office. And the second thing is I use Data Axle Genie to pull my list, but I don't necessarily find their email because a lot of the ones that I'm doing are the brick and mortar business. So that's where I've struggled with. I have to go and try to reach them a few times, and it's always a hit and miss.
We've used Seamless.ai and ZoomInfo. ZoomInfo has kind of taken the charge there as far as getting an accurate list. But when we're canvassing, typically we go 2 times. So if we're going to canvass a particular area, we actually put it in our calendar twice. We go for the first time and we take what's called a mini shock and awe bag. We take a bag that may have a magazine in it, a couple pieces of candy. Typically we choose Lifesavers with the fun there. And so we'll put some candy in there, some lifesavers, a magazine, a couple of business cards, and a very well designed brochure that has our top 7 reasons why you want to work for us, what our clients are saying about us, some testimonials. But the important thing is, normally you're not going to get past the gatekeeper on trip number 1. When we calendar canvassing, remember I said we do it twice. We follow up exactly 2 weeks later. And when we walk in, they're normally saying, hey, I remember you were just here a couple of weeks ago. Then all of a sudden we can engage into a conversation. The first trip is basically to drop off our content and maybe shake a hand. We'll walk in there, hey, did you see Super Bowl last night? Or hey, how about the Padres? But the second trip is when we really try to engage. And then that's where we're getting our leads from, is the second stop, hardly ever on the first stop.
Okay, got it.
That's a great point. It really brings up another topic that I'd like to discuss if everybody's open to it. Like, what differentiates you from your competition? And so Tommy just described something that absolutely differentiates himself, that he doesn't do just the 1 stop, he does the 2 stops. And people realize that, they take note of that. So it made him already differentiate from some of his competition. So can any of you share like what you feel has differentiated you and your business from your competitors?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay, thanks, Lynn.
We provide product launch, but as I say, we also provide executive coaching. So a lot of my clients will provide a tool as well as the consulting, but I haven't seen anybody yet who's providing the coaching as well, because the team is so important. When you're doing a product launch, the team can make or break the launch, and the team's head will roll if they don't get a successful launch. So getting them at the right mindset, and one case in particular was when a company, just as things shut down in 2020, they were due to prepare the market for their launch, talking to peers, because you can't promote until it's FDA approved. But they were talking about data and that, but of course nobody could go out. And this was one of those products that it was make or break. And suddenly everybody was shut down. So not only were they dealing with what everybody else was dealing with, but they were dealing with the extra of not being able to launch their product. And it was so important for them. And so I kept the leadership team at a high performance level so that they could target that down to their teams, so that we could keep on moving forward and not getting caught up in all the mess that was going on, and finding different ways, and kept them curious and kept them innovative so that they could move forward when really they could easily have stuck their head in the sand.
That's very cool with the coaching.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I found for me, being in the accounting field, that the key and differentiator for me, and Tommy can say whether I really do this or not, is I try not to talk like an accountant. I try to talk like, real world speak. I don't know if, Michelle, you find that with, law and all of that. It's that, you've got to speak to them where they are, meet them where they're at. So I try not to, say, here's all the things that I know, and here's all the things that I can do for you, and I'm going to show you this all at once. I want to earn their trust. That's what I had to say, trusted accounting advisor. So once I've worked with them for a few months, help them with some of the key things, perhaps that's top of mind for them, that, I can help with, then we can move into a way that they're more receptive to other things that I can then say, okay, so here's some more tools, some more things that you can do now to get you to that next level.
Very, very similar to what we do is we actually have a sign inside of our tech delivery, our service delivery team, and it literally says "No geek speak." Just no geek speak. It's so easy for a network engineer or a cybersecurity expert to talk over someone's head when they're talking about computers. And so that's our number one thing is no geek speak. It's actually on our marketing material as well. The other one,
I love it.
And I coach other IT companies and other MSPs that are trying to come up in the ranks as well. And one of the things that I always tell them is probably 90%, if not more, I don't have the data on it, but I would say 9 out of 10 times we take on a prospect or a new client. And if they have an incumbent provider or a current provider that we're trying to drive a wedge in between them so we can close the deal, 90% of them will say they lack response or they're unresponsive. When I'm constantly telling other IT companies, if you can just be responsive, you would retain 90% plus of your clients, basically. And so that's another one that sets us apart. And you've seen it, how I do the canvassing, how we do our leads when they come in on the CRM. We respond immediately. If a call comes in, we typically respond to that ticket in less than 5 minutes. It's phenomenal at our response time. We don't need to resolve it. We just need to respond to it. Let them know that that we see their request, that we care about their issue, and that we're looking at it. So,
yeah, I think that's a key point, to just letting them know that you are on your radar.
Yeah.
Yes, we see you. Yes, we're going to do that. I know a long time ago when I worked with one of the big, payroll providers, and I would call the customer service, and I've told them this before, that I felt like, I call customer service and I get someone on the phone, and I feel like they literally went out to the street, got the next person that's walking down the street and says, could you please answer this phone and answer this question? I mean, that's how bad it was. And then I hate it when I have to keep telling my sad little story over and over. They keep transferring me. It's like, okay, I'm getting more and more irritated, people. Don't you have a computer that you can put notes in that say what I keep telling?
Well, we fail every single day at it, Ina, and it's funny is we're it's not like we're the best in the industry at what we do. And we make mistakes every single day, but that's things that I'm constantly trying to teach my guys and my team here is stop putting clients on hold. I mean, do you like being put on hold, or do you like being transferred? And it's okay if you transfer them, but make sure you're doing a handoff where you have both technicians on the phone at the same time and say, I'm going to turn you over to Miss Sarah. Sarah's going to say, thank you, Jamie. And there. That's another one that we've learned through trial and error.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. Whenever that has happened to me, I'm always very appreciative of that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being supported.
Yeah.
So Michelle, what are some of the ways that you talk to people, or find that you can get them to understand how important a trust is?
Because of the nature of the topic, I realized I had to do mine more with my personality and make it me. Mm-hmm. So I do make it where I'm not trying to scare you to death, because you're already scared as soon as I say wills and trust. Everybody knows they need one, but no one wants to talk about it. They feel like they're gonna die tomorrow. But I make myself and my team, we make ourselves available. So we actually go out into the community. We try to do an in-person event once a month, if not once every other month. We try to do webinars, but I am of the mindset that you have to create an experience for people. So when they think of wills, trust, being ill or sick, it's not scary. They're going to remember what experience we created. So that's why when we go out into the community, we'll partner with a vegetable company that gets all their stuff from a farm, and we'll do a cooking class while we talk about estate planning.
Nice.
We'll go to wineries. We'll do wine tastings while talking about estate plan. My favorite is the pedicures and planning. We're actually getting pedicures while we talk about.
Love that.
It's like, because you have to create that experience. If not, they're gonna run from you. Nobody's gonna come and be like, "Oh, talk about estate planning." If not, it's usually a retired person. You're not gonna get any other people. So that's how we make ourselves different by doing that. I also add in paparazzi moments where we highlight celebrities who did not get appointed, and how it turned out for them and their families. And a lot of people usually don't know that this stuff happens, but the reason I know is because it's public record, because of what they did with their estate planning. So people tend to love that. It's always like, you never know what you're gonna get. I throw in plot twists all the time. So
that's great. I love the experiences, because for so long people will say, oh, come have lunch or dinner with us, right? At some little steakhouse or something. It's like, no, I'm not going to go. But having something like you said, like pedicures or wine tasting or, a cooking class, that's really innovative. I love that.
Oh, and murder mystery. So I swear in my past lifetime, I had to have been like some type of I don't know what I was, a writer, a medical examiner. I don't know what it was, but I have like the warp thought. But murder mystery, we throw in estate planning, we mix it together. It's, you name it, we do it.
Yeah, that's great. And I agree with you on like pointing out celebrities. Like I'll tell people, okay, have you ever heard that the Rolling Stones had a problem financially with their managers? They had problems drug-wise and getting along. Okay, no doubt about it. But as far as their manager, people say, well, no, because you hear about it all the time where, somebody's financial manager runs off with their money. And I said, that's because Mick Jagger went to the London School of Economics and he knows how to read a financial statement. He may not be an accountant, but he knows enough to know if something's not right. And so
you can learn from them. The only difference between you and a celebrity is that they may have more zeros and commas in their account. That. But they have the same skill set you have. It's just that more people want to hear them. So I look at it, from that point of view. But like the same thing, when I'm in front of accountants that come to these events, I have no problem pointing out Wesley Snipes because him and his accountant went to jail.
Yes, that was terrible.
Or a trust that was created incorrectly. So paparazzi moment is very, very popular. Myth versus fact. So we have a lot of fun. We do Jeopardy. We do all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
Game night.
I want to go to one of your events. I'm like, that sounds fun.
I know. You give me a microphone and a stage, you're going to be talking to your family about death in less than 24 hours and won't even realize it.
Yeah, Michelle, and like you said, estate planning is a hard sell. You know what I mean? I think it's a hard sell because people don't want to talk about it. But another one is, and obviously I've had mine done, but is the feeling of relief when you get done. Yeah, there's some hard questions. Yes, you and your significant other, you may shed a few tears, especially when they start asking questions about the kids and stuff like that. But afterwards, we celebrated. We went to lunch. We felt so good about it.
Me too.
And you're smiling. And then I had my binder with me, and it just, it's like adulting 101. And so it felt really, really nice.
Well, Michelle, I don't know about, your trust, but I recently had mine updated, and I even have a pet trust. So my pets will be taken care of, whatever pets I have at the time that I pass away. And so I was able to put, money in there and, donations and stuff. There's this place called the Helen Woodward Center here in San Diego that's really popular. And so I thought that's great because, if I pass away, my husband passed away, I don't know that my brother's going to want my pets.
Where do they
go? I want them to be taken care of.
I'm telling you, we had a paparazzi moment for that too. Gunther on Netflix.
Yeah.
Millionaire, boy.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
His attorneys were a millionaire. Gunther was broke. Because you can't leave the money to the
That's true. Animals. That's true. But I set it up so that the Helen Woodward Center gets a certain amount, but then whoever adopts it most likely will be a dog. Adopt my dog will also get like a dowry, a certain amount of money so that they can take care of my pets and stuff because they're important to me, huh? So I have a little corgi. So.
Hey, look at that. You just spent 10-15 minutes talking about that. Look at that. I did my job.
There you go. See? Yeah, you're really good at your job.